Oh, those are big words. If you're managing to do that, that's.
I think we got a lot lucky. That.
But this graveyard, it fascinates me. Tell me the most exciting of those ideas that you haven't able to crack.
Actually, a bunch of them.
There's a sci-fi story which we are working on. It had to be about faith. It had to be about belief, but it also had to be about a goddess digging through a grave and finding the buried demon and slaying the demon.
Koimoi.com.
Hello and welcome to Koimoi. This is Shubham Kulkarni, and today in conversation with me are two of the most prolific filmmakers we have in the country, and they together have given us one of the most prolific shows on OTT right now. Welcoming Pushkar and Gayatri of Suzhal fame. Hello guys.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, and
the pleasure is all mine.
Nice review.
Thank you so much. But that's my observation with the show is that everyone who's watching the show, all my friends who have seen the show are loving it. Now these are people with different sensibilities. They are varied sensibilities. Tell me, how do you guys crack that formula of always catering to people regardless of what the ideology is? Matlab, you have something for the people who crave metaphors, you have something for the people who crave masala. How do you do that always?
Oh, those are big words. If you're managing to do that, that's.
I think we got a lot lucky. That is one thing.
But one thing is, I think at the base level, we in our writing, we are not judging people for the stance they take. We have people who are believers in a certain culture. There are people who are atheists. There are people who are communists. There are people who believe that police action has to be a certain way. And so we try to bring in a broad spectrum of people as characters, because in real life, we do see all these people in just our circle itself. I mean, especially in India, no circle is that homogenic that everybody talks and feels and thinks the same. And when you set up conflicts this way, so Shanmugam and his wife, we have a union leader who's an atheist versus somebody who has gone away to an ashram because she feels happier over there. So these things, I think, help us in trying to make sense of the world we are creating. And that's where I guess it starts.
And another thing we try to keep is, see, we need to have a watertight plot, which keeps you engaged, But at the same time, if you're just looking at twists and turns and plot, then you kind of lose interest in the people, or like, okay. I mean, you won't care if there's a twist going to come or like a whodunit. Like, if you don't care who actually, I mean, whatever happens, then so we try to mix plot with heart.
Yes.
So bring in a lot of heart, like a lot of emotion. So if we can actually blend those two, then I think we are kind of fairly safe hands.
You have been always. Let's just accept that. But talking about Suzhal, it's a complex structure, right? There are complexities about the community, about devotion, about the blind faith, let's just say as well. At this time, tell me, what's the most difficult part of the show to crack and translate on screen?
Okay, one thing is in terms of just purely writing it, the metaphor was difficult to get it to fall into place because the metaphor had to work on a bunch of different levels. It had to be about faith, it had to be about belief, but it also had to be about a goddess digging through a grave and finding the buried demon and slaying the demon. So, and for us, unless we get that holistic view of the script, it just goes on pause. And that's what happened here also. I mean, when we were writing it, it went on pause for a little while because we were not able to find that one zing, that one X factor, that one thing which will give us that top angle view of that whole town of Sambalur. That's when we were driving back from somewhere and we were crossing this town called Vellore. The festival was happening at that point of time. And our driver kind of told us what this festival was. And that was the moment which me and Gayatri looked at each other and said, yes, this is what we have been searching for. This works. So till that point, we were actually grappling with how are all these things connected. We had couple of the main characters, we knew what their arc was, we knew where the plot was proceeding, but somewhere it was not falling into place as a cogent whole. So for us to crack that moment is always the toughest part of writing. To step out of it and say, now if you ask us any question about any character in that town or characters whom you've not even seen in that town, we'll still be able to give you a very coherent reply because we know how this town works. That comes from having this overall metaphor.
See, a lot of times scripts will get aborted, when somewhere, okay, it is all there, but it's not quite falling in place. You kind of leave it and then you pick it up at a later point when you actually get that bird's eye.
So that is our graveyard of scripts. There's a folder which is like that graveyard there. All those ideas which have not cracked are there.
But this graveyard, it fascinates me. Tell me the most exciting of those ideas that you haven't able to crack.
Actually, a bunch of them.
There's a sci-fi story which we are working on. A whole bunch of elements in that has fallen into place. But again, there that one thing which will give us that bird's eye view has not. It's almost 80% there. The last 20%. We've been working on it for the past 3-4 years now, and so what we do is we have a bunch of things which we work on simultaneously, depending on what state of mind we are at any given point. So it will be random talks about let's try to do that, and that's why we take so much time. Also, irresponsible of us, but
it's good that you do. You marinate yourself in the script, and it's a three-dimensional world, right?
Getting positive reaffirmation for our laziness.
But maybe laziness is good sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. Now I think the pressure will start on where's season 2? Where's season 2?
Yes.